Okay, welcome back, guys. Sorry for the delay. There were some technical difficulties, but don't worry. We've got one last SNW Kaizo hack for you. We've got Titan Mario here, and we've got a special guest. Welcome in the creator, Orca.
Yeah, what's up? I'm Orca BLN, and I'm the creator of this hack.
You've also done, Comfort Zone, right? And several different ROM hack race levels, so definitely go give his stuff a check out. It's quite difficult.
It is, yeah.
Let's go show you just how difficult his stuff is. So we got Titan Mario here. What is this, 2021 release, right?
Yeah, March 2021, this hack came out, and yeah, it's been around, and now it has a lot of runners, a lot of good times on the board, and Stu, of course, has the world record. And I will talk about the hack as we go along. All right, first level here. Nothing too crazy happening. Some fun tricks.
Oh my Lord have mercy. Okay. Let's no one saw anything. That was a false start on the defense. Here we go.
Level 1 death in a marathon. I think that's okay.
Yeah. whiffed on the shell downs, yeah.
As I said, nothing too crazy going on. There's still like tight timings happening, so you still have to watch out. And yeah, second half relatively short. I'm actually interested in seeing what strats Stu is going to go for.
I'm not gonna go. There's a Lakitu skip. There's a P speed, a different P speed strat as well. I'm not gonna go for either of those. I'm gonna take. Oh, I forgot to. I'm not gonna go for either of those. I'm gonna go for the nice and simple, boring way, just because both of the P speed fast strats are very, very difficult. In the record grind, I did eventually start going for Lakitu skip, which is like a pixel perfect landing on a gray falling platform, and not this one, but it's one after, like this one coming up here, but on the right side of it, not the left side. So we go over the Lakitu, land on the one pixel that's exposed outside of the death block, and then immediately spin jump on top of the piranha to end it, nice and quick. But and you know that saves several seconds, so you don't have to wait out the Lakitu spiny. But Lord have mercy, is it tight, and we are not going to risk that for you guys today.
We already died enough.
Yeah. Let's.
All right, coming into level 2, this is the first long level because it has 3 sections. First one, we have some nice jumps using platforms, using Yoshi, spitting out keys, landing on keys. There's a lot you can do in SMW, and here with Yoshi, you see that your hitbox is huge, and you can just abuse that. Get in the door, nice.
And we got the fast key strat right there. There are several different ways. I did the fast way. There's a semi-fast way that's a lot safer, and then there's the well, actually, what is the intended way? Is the intended way the semi-fast way?
The intended way is you can even very comfortably do the 1 cycle. It is not as tight as it seems, but I've given you the chance to just wait on the key for the right timing.
That's what it is. Yeah, okay, yeah. So I went on the 1 cycle off the key, straight to the extendo bridge, but you're supposed to wait there an extra cycle to get the right timing to get on top of it to get P speed. Yeah, that's what it is. I forgot about that.
Yeah, coming into the last section, very classic Kaizo level design idea here. You're following bullets and using them to bounce on them, get this P-switch, and then use these last 2 bullets to get into the first survival section of the game. There's quite a lot of that going on. This one is not too crazy. You just wait against the wall for the star. And then here we have a little, I call it a test. It's a test like that. Looks like a spiny, but it is in reality a buzzy beetle. And it's not even like a big change. It's just changing some settings in SMW, and that's what it looks like. And GG. And
it's supposed to trick the player. You see the spine, you're like, oh, I can't do anything with that. How do I get past this section? And so they wait too long to think about it, and then they miss their ride, essentially.
Yeah, it's kind of always spin jump on it and destroy it.
Yeah.
That's the other thing people do. For me, it was kind of like a test. Like everybody who is a creator kind of figured out what happens there. Because when you play around in the editor for SMW, this happens quite a lot. You see sprites looking weird like that. And here, the auto-scroller of the hack.
And mind you, it's on ice. There are ice physics at play.
Everything is ice physics. The level is called Wonky. And it kind of is wonky using the winged blocks that you saw earlier.
And then we got the shell skip right there, getting fast enough to beat out the disco shell, or it's a yellow shell, just a yellow shell, right?
It's a normal shell, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just beating out the shell to get the early pipe. And here, I forgot to jump. We're gonna do a strat here, not intended, and this is an auto scroller, so it isn't actually saving time, but it's a nice consistency boost to time your jump correctly. I have an audio cue. To activate that so that the truck will trigger, we're going to get a moonwalk as well afterwards to get the Koopa Eat. And now we're going to do one speed strat here is we're going to ditch Yoshi because it's actually slower to keep Yoshi entering the pipe. The transition in and out of the pipe is longer with Yoshi. And I think it's
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know. Apparently, when you are on Yoshi, your hitbox is bigger than just being Mario. So coming out of a pipe takes what?
It's like it was like 0.6. I think it was like
0.6
overall for both sides combined. I think it is what it was. So probably like 0.3 each side or something.
That's a lot. Okay, here next level, we're using saws. We're doing a pretty difficult damage boost. Use the saw to get up. You have to stay on the right side of the saw. And then don't grab that rope. And then again, some rope jumps.
And
this is a pretty difficult level. There is a very difficult survival section coming up in just a second.
Yeah, this is a pretty scary one.
You have to wait using these two saws. You can't go further like this. You have to wait for the platform to change your jump type. And then bounce on some Koopas. And now you do have to grab the rope.
Yeah, so it's a nice little troll right there. At the halfway point, if you grab the rope, you die. And at the end, if you don't grab the rope, you die. So he really plays with your mind there. If you ever go, which I highly recommend, if you ever go watch the compilation, you have a video for that, right? Or was it just because I know you showed it on stream at least once?
I have yes, I have a clip compilation for this hack on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Well, I missed the. Okay, so this is a good time to talk about the RNG. If you want to do that real quick about the Lemmy fight.
Yes. So Stu, the mad scientist that he is, figured out that you can influence the boss cycle at the end by going into the door in the very first room at a specific time. You don't want to go in on the very first frame. You want to go in on one of the later frames, but don't take too long. Otherwise, you get RNG in the boss fight. And all that it does is allow you to skip an intentional death that all runners do to set up the boss pattern. Nice skip there.
Yeah, that was a very tight skip, by the way, that I just did in that previous room.
Yes, that is very difficult. This 5-room castle, of course, ends in a boss fight. And if you don't die getting there, which you hopefully don't in a speedrun, then you will have a random pattern, which everybody eliminates by doing an intentional death. And Stu found a way to eliminate that by figuring out that if you go into the door at the beginning at the right timing, you kind of know which pattern you get. And now he doesn't have to do an intentional death because he took a death earlier, so the RNG is not there and the pattern is always the same.
Yeah, so if you've already taken a death, the pattern is 667, counting from left to right the pipes. So Lemmy will show up on pipe 6, then 6, then 7 after any death in Desi's rooms. However, like Orca was mentioning, in the first room, the candle flickering in the background of the intro room pushes forward the RNG. So by entering on the very first frame of the door, you get 163, I think, or 136 as the pattern, and that one's kind of hard to deal with. But if you enter in when Mario is full width of the door, so not overhanging on either side, you get the pattern 464, which is very easy to deal with and saves several seconds by not having to take an intentional death.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy strats that Stu found when he grinded this, and that is just one of them. There will be more coming up. Right now we are getting into one of the hardest levels, I want to say, of the hack. And here you are playing with disco shells. But that's not all. You also fire flower Mario. So you have to figure out when you have to stand. Now you have to duck to get through this tunnel.
Yeah, that dismount is one of the scariest parts, in my opinion, of this level.
And since that is not enough, we also work with P-switches, because when you land on a P-switch in SMW, you basically land for 1 frame on a platform, and you can use that to...
I couldn't hear. I was waiting for... I have an audio cue for that part. I should have said something earlier. My bad. So I do have to use an audio cue to know when to jump. And I thought I was gonna be able to hear it, but it was like... I felt like maybe it was extra. So sorry, keep going, and we'll just be quiet at that one part just to make sure I don't do that again. Sorry.
Okay, that was pretty epic. The ending is very easy once you figured out that you can just wait. When a P-switch runs out in SMW, there is a like a sound effect.
Okay, here we go.
So you know when it runs out.
Okay, well, I just go early, I think. Oh wait, am I gonna die on the other side? Uh-oh. Bleep! Okay, we're good. No, nothing to see here.
There's a little trick there. In SMW, when you take damage, you will keep iframes going through doors and pipes. So the munchers on the other side are just there to scare you a little bit. Again, here you carry the P-switch around. You have to be upright here. Go through this tunnel. Now you're throwing up the P-switch to activate it, and also you duck to get through that tunnel.
Yeah, it's like I mentioned earlier. This is like a harder hack, and that's kind of an instance of it right there. You would never see a technique like that in a beginner hack. I mean, and so Orca really puts you to the test to make sure you know how to control Mario and what impacts, like being able to duck after that. Like that little piece of extra information, how that interaction works, is critical to success.
Okay, coming into the next level, we are playing with Dolphins and P-speed, which you keep up to this point. There is a way to skip this, but that is extremely difficult.
Yeah, there's like 3 different variations of the way to skip that cycle, and all of them are insane and would not recommend.
Now we have a nice shell tray coming up.
Oh my gosh! Oh,
very clean.
Woo, that is such a hard ending. It's terrifying, to be honest.
That is tough. Yeah, that is very tough. Speaking of tough, the second half is one of the tightest sections in the entire game. That backshot alone is very, very hard. You have to line up the bullets, get the spring, and then the last trick, the very last setup is very tight.
Yeah, let's make sure we get everything perfect. Oh my Lord, have mercy! That was almost commentator's curse by me. I was like, wait a second, am I not going to touch this? Woo, that was close.
As tight as you can make it. Orb.
Also, what I say is easy game made for babies. That was calculated. I was never worried. Let's go.
One-shotting that level is insane. Okay. And here, there's a lot going on in this level. These blocks that eat or create other blocks are very fun to work with. And here I use them to play with these fuzzies. These little black creatures with the funny smile. It's very hard to move on them, don't touch anything that kills you. Here we have a slow-moving block. And then here we have a fast-moving block. You have to run away from it, catch it, and then it will stop using some magic. And in the pipe. That is all vanilla, by the way. Just showing all the fun things you can do.
Fun fact about the ending snake block of the first section. If you go too slowly, you can get through most of the section, and then the snake block disappears, right, Orca?
If you are too slow, the block will disappear, yeah. That's why there's a message box at the start telling you that it's not my fault, but your fault if that happens.
Okay, so here we're gonna go for a side swipe, is what I call. We're gonna do a camera manip right there with a very quick left-right. Because the left-right stalls out the wing block spawn just enough that we can sneak by the left side of it. I'm gonna do it again because I have high confidence in myself. Here we go. So we got the side swipe D boost right there, which is a little bit faster than the intended way.
That is very tight.
And then sneaking under the piranha right there. I cannot believe I just died that way.
Okay, about this level. In this level, I wanted you to use a lot of power-ups. There's 3 parts. The first part, we're using only the fire flower. And then the next part, the cape. And in the last part, we will combine both and do some funny things. But first, let's get out of the fire flower section. We're doing some spin jumps.
Why'd you make this game so hard? Quick, everyone blame the creator. It's not my fault.
That's even the easy part of the level.
I know.
Also, the thing to notice here, again, ice physics, which actually here make everything a bit easier. You get a nice shell jump. And then now you shoot these 2 Goombas, shoot a fireball down there, 1 up there. And the first fireball you shot kills a football, which turns, as it happens in SMW, into a coin. And Yoshi can eat that and will grow up. And you need him to get to the checkpoint. Now a little survival section. You have to work with these moving objects, layer 2 we call it. And it's not over. Getting into that pipe is not a checkpoint.
Not a checkpoint.
So you still have to be careful.
I have definitely died here before.
It's funny, when you shoot a shell right in front of a block, it will go through Mario because he will not interact with anything for, I think, 18 frames or 16 frames. So that's what we use. Nice P-switch activation.
Thank you.
Just to open the last gate.
We also did a cape D boost through a big Sparky set to get to the small Sparky faster.
Here, we're using the select button, so there's no mapping going on. You actually has to move his finger around, keep his speed, shoot fireballs, do cape spins.
Yeah, that's a tough section because like when you're playing it, your left thumb is the one moving the D-pad, and then you have to move it off to press select quickly to change the power up, and then move it back to the D-pad in time. So very fast movement there to make all that work.
Okay, coming into the ghost house. This is a very long level with a nice boss fight at the end. Again, you are Big Mario, and you will spin jump through these blocks. There's no way to stop spinning. And there's also no way to just take damage and be small. So it gets very tight. Again, ice physics. That gray block is a thwimp, which I couldn't fix because I only use vanilla gimmicks and vanilla graphics. So I couldn't really fix that because there's a lot of sprites in SMW that do not go together. You take damage through these bubbles, you get kicked off Yoshi, catch him, and we're at the boss fight.
Whew, okay, good.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
This is not very difficult. All you have to do is watch out that you don't destroy the wrong blocks. Because when you spin jump as Big Mario on a yellow block like that, you will only go 1 tile high. So if you destroy the wrong blocks and you have to go up 2 tiles, then you won't make it. And you need every single block to survive.
I didn't do my normal pattern, but didn't punish. That's the nice thing about this boss fight is that you don't have to do it in a specific way. In fact, if you watch different runners do it, like Calco, who's the second place runner, has a completely different pattern that he goes by to navigate that compared to what I do. And everything is perfectly fine. They're the same speed because you're just waiting on the. It's a survival section, so. And I will talk about this one part here. We do a camera manip. Okay, we're gonna do a camera manip to early spawn a Koopa to allow him to be further to the left by the time we actually need him. So he's poking out of some death blocks, and with that we can manage to steal this block. Got it. Very nice. Got the bounce. Got the steal. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then...
Very nice. That skip allows you to skip a frame-perfect block grab. And makes it a bit easier. You can't really save time because you're bound to the platform. But still, it helps you a lot in the speedrun.
Yeah, anytime. So block grabs are frame perfect. You have to press run and jump, as I've mentioned previously, to get them to work. But doing that in a speedrun when everything's on the line and the record has 1 death and the previous record had 0 deaths, so it's like that's how optimized this run is. It is very tight. So if you can eliminate a frame perfect input, it's definitely helpful.
Okay, we're in the last level. This level is all about item abuse. Items like shells, like springs, which you see here at the beginning. And we will have some fun in the rest of the run.
Yeah, this the first 2 rooms. I mean, all the rooms are hard for this, to be fair. The last trick, or that trick right there, is the hardest part in this room. We got a nice little... I wasn't pressing up. Oh, my lord. We have a nice little drop across the body. You'll notice I do a quick left-right, and that moves the shell's position across Myra's body so that I can re-grab it instead of having to up-toss it. Oh, my lord.
That's how that trick should go when you do it like that. But Stu got very consistent at it. It's very difficult. In order to drop a shell, you have to press down. So you have to take care of your horizontal position and press down. Very tricky.
Yeah.
Nice double shell jump.
Thank you. And then we got, this is the hardest of the 3 rooms, I think.
This is all about shell jumps. You bring this P-switch and you have to keep it and juggle it. Ooh. Very short room, but very difficult.
And now we're going to do a manip right here. Because I got a 1-shot, the next room would be messed up, but I do that left-right to despawn and respawn that Koopa, and it dies. And now this Koopa goes to the right. So for a very long time, we didn't know about that. So we would typically die there because the Koopa would walk in the wrong direction entering this disco room. But doing that left-right wiggle, which is like 0.6 seconds or something like that to set up, ends up saving you a death.
Yeah. Runners coming up to that part, deathless, would take an intentional death there to avoid the Koopa going the wrong way, which I didn't even know would happen until I saw it in speedruns. SMW is a good game. Now we have a chuck, we have to hit midair. This for me is like the final boss of the hack. And here there's a glitch in SMW. When you hit a block like that with a coin on top of it, the coin will then be solid, so you can get into that door. Intentional death.
So we mentioned
now we're going to the boss fight.
The candles flickering in the background were there on Deathless, but dying they don't respawn. And so if they don't spawn, the RNG doesn't get pushed forward, so we know what pattern Windy is going to be here.
Exactly. That last hallway is long, and the sprite that creates the candles will not be spawned after you die. So we have the same pattern here every time. And we're using this quick strat. The last hit now will despawn all the flames. So he uses the dummy to get on the safe spot. And GG.
Nice. 22. It's not a bad run.
That's a very good run.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's a very, very good run.
And I'm going to blame you because you were talking during that one section, right? Always blame the creator. That's the way.
You blame me, please.
No, that was great. That was a good run. Thank you, Orca, for helping out with the commentary there and making this hack. Fantastic hack. Highly recommend, though it is quite challenging. So definitely make sure you play a few other easier hacks first. Get yourself warmed up before hopping into this bad boy.
Yes. Thank you for playing. Thank you for having me.
And I guess that's going to be it for the Kaizo SMW section, this block here. Hope everyone's having a great day, has a great rest of their day, and enjoy the rest of the Speed Gaming Marathon here. Thanks for having us, and have a good one.
Bye-bye, everybody.